Hi and welcome. Today we're going to work on development of our crow pose or kakasana. Um, this one is good for really getting some internal healing for our organs, developing stability, arm balance, arm strength, and it's honestly a really good confidence booster. So, wherever you're at, this practice is aimed at getting some of the developments to help build you up to crow pose if you're not already there. So we'll begin by laying on our back and gently hugging the knees in. Maybe looking up at the sky, the ceiling, bringing a sense of awareness and grounding to your body in this spot. We'll draw our hands inside our thighs and reaching for the outside of our feet and pulling our knees down towards the ground into our happy baby pose. Feel free to find some movement here, wiggling back and forth. Feet parallel with the ceiling or sky, opening the hips. And just connecting to the breath. We'll release our clasp from the outside of our feet, and then we'll reach our hands forward in between the legs. We're rounding the back. We're drawing our belly into the spine. And we reach, and come back down. Inhale, exhale, reaching through. Again, drawing those shoulders away from each other, creating this little ball. And back down. And then up, down. Next exhale, come up, down. 3 more on your own. Getting that connection. And on your last one, we'll have our hands, so their fingertips are up towards the sky. And we're kind of simulating a little bit of what our crow pose is going to be. And in holding this, we'll start to squeeze our thighs in towards our legs. So the knees are driving in. The palms are pressing forward. The back is rounded. And we hold for 3, 2, 1. Release. Hug in the knees. Gently rock back and forth. Up and down. Maybe some bigger circles, and we'll rock our way up to a tabletop pose. We'll warm up the wrists, because with any arm balance, it's really important to get some mobility in the wrist. A lot of injuries do occur in the wrists because they're not properly warmed up for doing balances, where, the wrists aren't really most day-to-day activities used for supporting our whole body weight. And that's what we're doing here, is using our arms and wrists to support our body. So starting in our tabletop, pulling that belly up towards the spine, shoulders over the wrists, fingertips spread wide as you can. Get that strong, stable base. Hips over the knees. We'll do a couple cow cats. So inhale, lifting the chin, lifting the tail for cow. And then exhale, rounding the back. And really key into when you're rounding here, how the shoulders draw down and away, pulling in towards like the elbows almost. So follow your breath and your movement. Just warming up slightly. And do one more. Transition through both. And then bringing the wrists to touch and the thumbs to touch. We'll just enter and welcome in some circles. So shifting the weight forward. We're bringing a little bit of weight onto the wrists. And switch directions, going back the opposite direction. So my hands kind of look like a crab right now. Couple rotations. As we're warming up the wrists, we're actually also warming up the hips. And turn the fingertips so they're facing towards your knees. And then again, same thing, welcoming in some gentle circles. Going one way, maybe about 3 or 5 times. And then switching directions. And then turning palms up, we'll have the wrists resting on the mat, and it takes very little pressure here. Very little pressure. Fingertips are pointing in towards each other, towards the center of the mat. Little circles. And back the opposite way. Beautiful. We'll take our hands flat, palm down, tuck the toes, lift the knees, plank pose. Strong plank, shoulders over the wrists. Again, fingertips spread wide. Feel those finger pads engaging into the ground. Belly drawing up to the spine. And exhale, back downward dog. Drive the heels towards the mat, finding length in the legs, lengthen the arms. Inhale, right leg raises up, 3-legged dog. Exhale, right knee comes in towards the right elbow. Exhale, back. Right knee, right elbow. And hold. Maybe see if you can drive it up to your tricep. Again, rounding the shoulders. Maybe right heel to right glute. Can you hold? For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale back and bend the knee, open the hip. Keeping the arms square, equal pressure in the left hand and right. Not letting it all collapse onto our left side as we open the hip. Exhale, right foot stomps back down. Inhale, raise the left leg up. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale back. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Draw it up towards that left tricep, left heel, going up towards our left glute. Squeezing it in. Finger pads engaging into the ground. For another 3, 2, 1, and send it back. Bend the knee, open the hip. Connecting to your breath. Again, equal weight, left hand, right hand. Exhale, back down. Pedal the feet just a little bit more. And then we'll walk our feet up towards the front. Heel toe them wide and take a yogi squat. Malasana or garland pose. Toes are pointing out, elbows pressing into the inner thighs. Finding again some movement in our hips here. Allowing the left hand to come down toward the ground and the right arm reaching up towards the sky. opposite side. Right hand comes to the ground, left arm reaches up. Exhale, back down. Now the moment we've all been waiting for, crow pose. If you're not used to crow pose, I recommend maybe having a block or a thick book. And this will be kind of like your crow's perch. It'll help elevate you. So position your block behind you. And then step up on it. And then our hands, like we did in our tabletop, like we do in our downward dog, we're going to drive our hips up toward the sky, fingers spread wide. Then you just start shifting your weight forward. So your gaze is ahead. If you tuck your chin in and you're looking at your feet, you're probably going to wind up in a somersault. And that's not what we want. We want to be able to catch our body. Some folks like to have a blanket out in front of them or a bolster. Makes them feel more secure. You're welcome to do that as well. But wherever you are, it might just be on this perch, having like our heels together and then the legs join in towards the arms. And we're going to want to have our knees somewhere above our elbow. And whether it's in this little indentation right above the elbow or up towards your armpits is based on like your body and your comfortability. Once you find that little zone, then you start shifting your weight forward. And you might just practice with this. Shifting the weight forward, engaging those finger pads, drawing those knuckles up, but the fingers in and back down. And you play around with it. You have fun. Maybe you just stay here, rocking back and forth, starting to find that little spot for you. Maybe those hips are up and you start lifting one toe. I call this flaming crow pose. When you got the one leg bent up and the toes pointed. And then switching sides. Just playing with the one. Coming back down. And then maybe you get that one up. You get a visit from your furry friend. Bird dog, huh? Lego. Hi, Lego. Okay. Excuse me. We've got a class. Thank you. So as I was saying, you're shifting your weight forward. Your gaze is forward. And you're using the support of your arms to lift one foot and maybe two off your perch. Like we did when we were driving those heels up towards the glutes. And coming back down. So play around and maybe you don't need your perch. Spreading those fingers wide. At any time, maybe flipping the wrists over. Again, adding a little bit of pressure on to loosen them up. I like to have my fingers intertwined and do a little cool dance move like this. That helps loosen them up too. And then let's try again. Be patient with yourself. Be kind. This is a process. Fingertips wide. Strong base. I'm on the balls of my feet. My knees are driving in towards my elbows. The shins resting on my tricep. I shift my weight forward. My gaze is forward. It's not tucking in. And I lift one, and maybe two. Feet up. And the straighter your arms get, that gets us into crane pose. But do what's right for you. And then when you're done, do a gentle wrist stretch. I like to have my palm out and I turn my pinky in towards my heart. And just give it a little stretch. And then other side. Right pinky draws in, thumb points forward, palm open to my left. And then hands to heart. Hope you found some good tips out of today's crow pose practice, and we'll see you next time on the mat. Namaste.